Okay, so I need to share another prophetic dream with you guys. This one I was supposed to share it around the New Year's, and I didn't share it in time, and so I felt like I missed my window because God started to change the subject. But recently he's been bringing it back up, and he says some of y'all still need to hear it. This dream I actually had on June the 7th of 2022. All right, so I had this dream on June the 7th of 2022. And this one, God titled, God Led You This Way. Okay. He titled it, He Led You This Way. This dream, just to give you a summary of it, this is for people for who possibly within the past year or whatever, right? The past year or so, God gave you directions and you followed his directions. And it seemed like the end result was not what you expected, right? It seemed like following his directions may have led you to, losing some things or whatever, okay? So this dream is for those people, okay? This is probably a season that you've been in this past year or so, like a wilderness or so to speak, okay? So he gave me this dream June 7th, 2022. When I woke up from it, I did not like it at all. I called one of my spiritual mothers right away. I told her the dream. I told her how I felt in the dream. I'm like, I don't like this. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Because I was wondering, was this punishment? Because anyways, the dream just left me feeling all kinds of ways. And, she just told me to pray and go to God in prayer and trust him or whatever, through whatever process he wanted to take me through. And I just recorded the dream. So as I was experiencing this dream, he let me know I was experiencing it. And a lot of you have been experiencing it as well. So real quick dream. I'm walking with a group of people and we're in a straight line and I'm first in line. Okay. When in dreams, I oftentimes see people in different groups. And I'm literally usually in dreams, I'm in the back of the line. This is one of the very few dreams I've had where I'm in the front of the line. And that's why I tell y'all, prophetic words, they're timeless because people go through different things in different seasons. In dreams, I see people in different sections in my dream world. I see them in different positions, different places, different sections, okay? So anyways, I'm in the front of this line and it's a lot of people behind me. We're walking in this straight line. And we're getting instructions from God, basically. We're all getting instructions from God. You don't see him physically there, but we're all getting the same instructions. So we're instructed, and this is nighttime. This is taking place at nighttime. So we're instructed to walk straight ahead, and we do that. And then as we're walking the path that we're told to walk, we come to this ladder. So then once we get to the ladder, we're instructed to climb this ladder. So I begin to climb the ladder. And the people behind me, they follow. We all climbing the ladder up. And I'm scared of heights, but I'm climbing it because my mind is made up. I'm going to do whatever I'm instructed to do by God. This is God telling us to do this. So once we climb all the way to the top of this ladder, y'all, and this ladder is high. Oh my God, this ladder is so unbelievably high. And once we climb to the top of this ladder, like we're at our destination at the top, I see like this ledge or whatever. It's like a plank. So if you ever seen a pirate movie or a pirate show, that's what it reminds me of. This long, narrow plank is super thin. So once we get to the top of the ladder, I see a long plank and I'm told like a diving board, okay? Like a diving board, but it's super long. And then I have the instructions to go crawl across of it and go all the way to the end of it, okay? I get to the top, I'm told to go all the way to the end of that plank. So I do as I'm told, I'm scared of heights, but I'm up there and I'm kind of crawling like all the way to the end of the plank. I'm trying to keep my balance because if I move the wrong direction, I could fall, right? So I get to the plank. I'm like, okay, I'm up here. I wasn't even sure if I was going to better balance myself up there, but I managed to balance myself in that very uncomfortable position, right? And so God was speaking this too. A lot of y'all have experienced some extremely uncomfortable positions. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm just going to go through the dream, okay? So I find a way to balance myself in that uncomfortable position. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm up here and I'm balanced. And then the next thing you know, I get the instructions from God to fix my position because I'm balanced up there. I'm where he told me to be. But he told me now to straighten myself out and turn face forward. And I'm like, what? Because I was barely up there to begin with. I was balancing myself, and I was just surprised I was even able to stay up there like that. And so I say, okay. And I turn to balance myself to get in the position he tells me to, and I fall. I fall off the plank. I fall off the little thing, the little narrow thing we on. And when I fall, it's a long fall, and I land in water. This water was not there before, okay? And y'all, everywhere I go, like in the natural, I always have a cup of tea with me. I have something warm with me to sip on, usually a cup of tea, cup of coffee or something, but I stay with something warm to drink, right? So when I went up that plank, I went up there with my big old cup of tea. So when I fell in the water and I came out of it, my cup was overflowing, okay? And I was mad in a dream because I fell. That was a long fall. And I'm like, you had us go all the way up there just to fall down? Like, just because the instructions literally led to us falling in the water and then coming out. And then I came out of the water and I was walking off into the dark in the rain. It had started to rain as soon as I came out of the water, and I'm walking off into the rain, okay? So that was the dream. And God, this was just basically what a lot of y'all have been dealing with. A lot of moves y'all made the past couple years, God led you to make them. He led you to start those businesses. He led you to move away. He led you to, create distance between different people and places and things. He led you to do all of these things. You have been literally following him every step of the way, literally. And the result was not what you thought it would be, right? The end result was not what you expected. It was not your expected end, and it's not your ending, okay? And a lot of y'all, after y'all followed him to those places, this past year, some of y'all ended up losing a lot. You ended up losing a lot of the things that he gave you. And it just didn't go the way you expected it to. And in the process, you had to deal with people mocking you, people on the outside looking in, thinking they knew something about your situation, right? And y'all, he even gave me, I'm about to say girl, but it's guys listening to. He even gave me a dream about that too. And he called it the mocker celebration and the victor's crown. All of this was a part of the process, okay? All of this was. A lot of us had to lose a lot of things so he could truly free us. A lot of this was a part of the process too, so he could truly free us. And then a lot of this was for testing as well. A lot of the things that we have prayed and asked God for, the things that God has promised he wants to trust us with, right? Because his desire is to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. A lot of those things required us to be more stretched, required us to grow in certain areas. And the only way for us to attain this growth, right? This growth that we've prayed for, because we've prayed for these things, okay? Some of us have prayed for freedom, right? Some of us have prayed for healing, things we didn't know how to attain by ourselves. And God, even though this was hard, this was the only way for you to truly be set free, right? This was the only way, the stretching, the tearing. A lot of y'all been feeling like y'all are drowning alive, like literally. And I had a dream about that too, where, the path I was taking, I ended up falling off of this bridge and landing into water. And it was like I was drowning alive. And that's what y'all have literally been feeling like in the space, this past season you've been dealing with in this wilderness. But it had a purpose. It had a big purpose, okay, y'all? It was for testing. It was for training. It was for purification. That fall from that ledge should have killed me. It should have ended me. We had climbed up so high, and I was mad because I was like, oh my God, this could have ended me. But the water caught me. That water wasn't there before. But when I fell, it was there to catch me, and it was there to purify me. And I was upset by the process because we were literally following instructions step by step. We didn't know we were going to have to climb up there just to fall. None of us knew. But God caught us, and we survived it. And like I mentioned before, this previous season was like a death and a resurrection. God compared it to what Jesus went through on the cross, right? And we had to go through it. And there are going to be miraculous benefits from that, from what we just endured. Okay. So y'all, I just wanted to share this message because God had put it on my heart. It's been hard for a lot of y'all. And then there was also, after that, I told you I had the dream about the mocker celebration and the victor's crown. And what God was making me aware of was there would be an audience to witness this, right? There's been an audience that witnessed your fall. There was some people around talking and some of them enjoying it, right? And then sometimes maybe them even picking at you and making you doubt your choices, making you think you misheard God, right? And the bottom line is a lot of them weren't happy to see you climb that ladder to begin with, right? So anyways, I'm just sharing this because God wants you to know that you did hear from him and he did lead you that way. And that was the only way to free you. That was the only way to purify you. That was the only way to prepare you for what he has for you. And your heart needed to be tested and your heart needed to belong to him. And for those people who survived this previous season and they still walking with him, your heart belongs to God. You in this for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody wants the blessings. Everybody wants the double portion. Everybody wants the miracles. But God needs to make sure that Jesus is Lord. He needs to make sure that these gifts that he's giving, he needs to know how much he can give you. Okay? Because he'll never give us anything that can destroy us. And if our hearts don't belong to him, then tangible items in certain higher level positions could potentially destroy us. You see what I'm saying? So God wants to make sure that we're ready. And he wants to know what we were able to handle carrying. How much can he trust us with? Okay? So a testing did have to take place. Purification did have to take place. A lot of us got delivered during this season. We've experienced deliverance. I grew up in a church and I never even knew about deliverance, right? I learned about it during this wilderness season, that I had things attached to me that I needed gone, right? Jesus is Lord. So anyways, you guys, I just wanted to share that with y'all because y'all needed to know that God led you this way. You needed to know that you heard him correctly. So you're not doubting or second guessing your ability to hear the Father's voice. All right. He showed me that too. Because even one of my mockers, they tried me one day and they was like, basically, long story short, they was trying to make it seem like what I lost was my fault. Like I went off on my own and blah, 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 blah. They tried to make it seem like I didn't hear God correctly. Like when God gives you something, he has no sorrow. And I'm like, listen, your season, Jesus, has been something like Job. It's been something like Job, okay? For a lot of y'all. Y'all have literally walked out what Job did, right? God gave Job a lot. He allowed Job to lose a lot. Job's heart was tested. People around him saw. They said, hey, Job, what have you done to offend God? Surely you've done something, right? That's what your season has been like. And Abraham, those are the stories that God kept bringing up. Job and Abraham. He told Abraham, leave, go to a place, where I will show you. He's been having y'all go places that don't make sense to man. But he is elated that you are following his voice and listening to his commands. The first transition he had us make, and y'all, I ain't mean to make this so long, but I'm guessing somebody needed because, it's just flowing. So the first place he told us to go, whatever, when everything transpired, into the wilderness, it didn't make sense. But he told me to move in silence, and I did. I told probably like 2 people. And it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And when the dust settled and, everything kind of hit the fan and I realized like, man, this really just happened. I started to cry and I thought I was going to bury my face in the pillow and never stop crying, literally. But I kid y'all not. The moment I started to cry, I felt God's presence come in the room like a flood. Like I felt his presence oh man, I felt his presence all over the room and he was happy and he was smiling so big. And I'm looking at him like, now here I'm about to cry and he in here doing the dance. He in the room, he done entered the room and he is happy. I felt him extremely happy and I immediately knew why. He was happy because I obeyed him. When everything took place, I did what he told me to do. I didn't do what I, now, but he told me to do wasn't logical, okay? There were a lot of more other logical choices, but I did what he told me to do. Even though it didn't make sense to man, even though it didn't even make sense to me, right? And he was so happy. He was so happy because I obeyed him. And I knew in that moment that that was a test, and I passed the test. And so instead of, spending the night crying in the pillow, I celebrated with him. And it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. But one thing that has given me the most peace is knowing that I'm where he wants me to be. And a lot of y'all can relate that it's his peace, it's his strength that has gotten you this far. And he just wants you to know that he is so proud of you. And this is not your ending. He keeps his promises. And he did lead you this way, okay? So continue the path. Don't doubt. And know that was a season you had to go through, but a lot of y'all are about to come out of it, okay? Do the work that he's telling you to do while you're in this season. Don't just roll over and lay in the grave. No, we keep growing. We get back up. You were just getting purified. You were just getting made better. You were just becoming new. Come on now. We need new people to walk into these new territories, okay? That he has prepared for us. All right, y'all, but I love y'all so much. That was the dream. That was your dream. I just wanted to encourage whoever needed to hear that. He said he led you this way. He led you this way, all right? And he has many more places to lead us, so keep following him and know that you can hear his voice. He needed you to know that you heard him correctly, and that wasn't punishment. You had to go through that. That was preparation. That was testing. That was purification. Jesus is Lord. Everybody got tested. Your mockers got tested. Jesus is Lord. All right. I love y'all so much. I love y'all, and y'all be blessed.